So have a strap and a block. I also keep forgetting to put the music link. I keep forgetting to give that to Sandy, so I'll put that in the chat for you all if you want it.
And you are good to go whenever you would like to begin.
Okay, let me mute. All right, thanks everyone for being here. We're going to get started with your belt on your back. So come to your mat. Just 1 second here. All right, so on your back, bend your knees, plant your feet hip width in parallel. Take just these first few moments to get settled in here. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And an open mouth exhale, sigh out the air. Then on your next inhalation, bend your right knee towards your chest. You can catch the front of your shin or the back of your thigh. Take a moment. You can move your leg into a circle here. Maybe point and flex through your foot. And then we'll use your belt now to work towards a straight leg. So you can start to take your belt around the ball mount of your right foot. Begin to straighten your leg up towards the ceiling. Walk your hands up the belt so arms are straight. Try to ground your shoulders. Flex through your right foot, spread your toes. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Keep firming through your right leg. Try to take the top of your right thigh bone forward. Take another breath in. This time as you exhale, start to slide your left leg straight on the floor. Press out through your inner left heel. Try to ground the top of your left thigh down. Take one more breath in. Hold it as you exhale. Now on your inhale, begin to gather the belt in your left hand only. You can open your right arm to the right. And now start to take your right leg across the midline any amount. So you can pause with the leg in the air like this. If you want to continue the rotation, you can start to turn onto the outer left hip and foot, trying to stack that right hip on top. But keep pressing your right foot into the belt, equally pull back on the belt and try to ground through your right shoulder. Take an inhale. Again, hold for your exhale. And then as you inhale, start to lift your right leg back up through center and pause. On your exhale, bend both knees, plant your feet flat, and take a moment. You can rest your belt to your abdomen. Inhale, hug your left knee in towards your chest. Again, you can just start to circle here to warm it up. Point and flex through your foot, getting in and softening through that groin. And then when you feel ready, take the belt, begin to loop it around your left foot as you straighten that left leg overhead. Supta Bada Kanasana. Walk your hands up the belt so arms are straight, broaden across your chest. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Keep firming your left leg. Take another inhale. As you exhale, now start to slide your right leg straight on the floor. Press out through your inner right heel as you keep equally using resistance against your left side here. Take one more inhale. Stay and hold for your exhale. Now on your inhale, begin to gather the belt in your right hand only. You can open your left arm to a T. On your exhale, start to take the left leg across the midline any amount, pausing where it feels appropriate to you. Keep taking that left outer hip forward. Flex through your left foot. Try to ground through your left shoulder. Take a breath in. Hold for your breath out. Now as you inhale, begin to take your left leg back up through center. On your exhale, bend both knees, remove the belt, plant your feet flat. You can place the belt off to the side. Take a moment here. Now inhale, hug your right knee in towards your chest. Start to reach to the inside edge of your right leg. Catch the outer edge of your right foot for half happy baby. Hug your right knee towards your right armpit. Press the sole of your right foot up towards the ceiling. You can stay more static or feel free to rock from side to side here. And if it feels appropriate, some of you might wish to straighten through your left leg, but that will make this more intense. So certainly you can keep your left foot on the floor. Take another breath in. Hold for a breath out. And start to release your right foot. Place your right foot back to the floor. Hug your left knee in on an inhale. Reach to the inside edge of your left leg. Half happy baby. Catch the outer edge of your left foot. Hug your left knee towards your left armpit. Press up. And up to you. Feel free to rock from side to side here. Some of you might wish to straighten through that right leg. Work with what you've got today. Breathe in and breathe out. And then when you're ready to release it, bend both knees, plant both feet to the floor. Inhale, hug both knees in towards your chest. You can rock from side to side. And then we'll meet in a seat. So you can either rock forward or use your hands, roll to your side, come up, take a comfortable seat. You can sit on a brick or a prop if you have it. And sit up nice and tall. Either rest your hands to your thighs, palms up or palms down. And then when you're ready, start to close your eyes as you settle into your seat. Notice if you might be leaning to one side or the other. Try to distribute your weight evenly. In your mind's eye, can you tell, are you leaning slightly forward with your head? Try to take your head back in line with your spine. Lengthen from your tailbone up through the crown of your head. On your next inhalation, take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold the air at the top. Open mouth, exhale, sigh it out, let it go. Then seal your lips and take a slow breath in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold the air. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Take a deep breath in and a full breath out. Continue to breathe on your own, starting to find this more regulated breath, matching the length of your inhales to the length of your exhales. And if it feels appropriate to you, you can start to layer in Ujjayi breath on top of this, toning and restricting the muscles in the back of your throat. Start to inhabit the inner space of your body as we continue to shift into a state of yoga. To welcome one another and cleanse the space that you're in, we'll begin by chanting with the sound of Om 1 time. You can keep your hands resting or join your hands together in front of your heart. Exhale first. Breathe in for Om. Inhale deeply, relift the chest. Keep the lift of the chest as you exhale. Release your head towards your heart. Take a moment. If you raised your hands, you can release them back to your thighs. With eyes closed, begin to lift your chin. And when you feel ready, Start to blink back open your eyes, letting the light in. All right, let's come forward into a tabletop position. Take your time arriving, setting up on hands and knees, quadruped, line up shoulders over wrists and hips over knees. Now, keep your hips over your knees. Start to walk your hands forward and wide for a puppy dog pose. Begin to lower your forehead to the floor. If the floor feels far away, you can always slide your brick underneath your forehead. Keep pressing your hands down. Lift the undersides of your arms up. Hug your navel towards your spine. Press the tops of your thighs back. Lift your armpits. Take an inhale. Stay in the pose as you exhale. And on your next inhalation, begin to lift your head up, walk your hands back to come into traditional table pose, shoulders over wrists again. Now from here, start to walk your knees, your feet, your shins to touch. And then you're gonna pivot your shins and your feet to the left. Start to sit back towards your heels, just like you would for a child's pose. But now with both of your hands, walk your hands and your arms all the way over to the left as well, as much as you can for this side body stretch through your right. You can let your head release in between your upper arms. Keep pressing down with your hands, dragging back. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Start to walk your hands back into center. Lift your hips up. Pivot your shins through center. And then now pivot your shins to the right. Start to sit back onto your hips. And then as far as you can, walk your hands all the way over to the right. Let your head release. Pause here for a breath. Stretch out through your left side waist. Really breathe into those left ribs. And then on an inhale, lift your head, walk your hands back into center, lift your hips up and take your shins to center. Again, separate your knees now, hips with distance. Now, as you inhale, lift your heart, broaden your sitting bones for cow pose. As you exhale, round your spine, hug your navel in for cat pose. 2 more times like this. Inhale to lift for cow. Exhale to round for cat. Inhale to lift for cow shape. Exhale to round for cat shape. Now come back to neutral table. And we're going to start to isolate the movement just to your upper back. So as you exhale, start to press your hands down. Begin to round through your upper spine. Keep your gaze forward and down. Try to punch your sternum bone up towards the ceiling. Don't let your pelvis and your hips get involved though. And then release, come back to neutral. It's not going to be the biggest movement ever. Now we're going to retract. So start to lower your shoulders, your chest to the floor without bending your elbows, without sticking your butt out. And then we'll move through a few rounds of this. So start to round the upper back. This is called protraction. Your shoulder blades will move apart on your upper back. Punch up. And then start to release it, lower down, retraction. So your shoulder blades move together. One more time like this. Round the upper back, punch up, protract. And then retract, sink your chest. Kind of like a flossing. And then come back up to neutral. Pause, tuck your toes under. Now, as you inhale, reach your right arm and your left leg long, extended table. Exhale, release and lower your limbs. Inhale, reach your left arm, right leg long. Exhale to release and lower. Inhale for the right arm, left leg. Exhale to lower. Inhale for the left arm, right leg. Exhale and lower. Keep moving at your own pace, lifting up opposite limbs. Again, trying to keep your pelvis, everything in neutral as you just lift the limbs here. So it becomes more of a core exercise, moving with your breath, keeping your gaze slightly forward and down, creating length through your cervical spine. Take one more round on each side. Pause and neutral table when you're done. Keeping your shoulders over your wrists, keeping the toes tucked under. Keep neutral, but now pick your knees up to hover just an inch above the floor. Stay in the pose as you inhale. Hold the pose as you exhale. Keep breathing steady. Stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Drop your knees. Walk your hands forward, one handprint. Lift your hips up and back. Let's find downward facing dog. Feel free to pedal out your legs. Release your head in between your upper arms. Just take a few moments here. Arrive into your down dog shape. Start to breathe into this pose. Distribute the weight evenly across your hands. Feel free to have the knees bent here. Keep lifting your hips high. And then if you're doing something asymmetrical, begin to balance out your sides, finding a more static dog. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, walk your hands back towards your feet, standing forward, bend at the back of your mat. Release the crown of your head and touch down to the floor, catch opposite elbows. Take an inhale. Again, stay for your exhale. On your next inhalation, begin to lift up halfway, Urdhva Hastasana. Lurch your heart forward, press your thighs back. Good. Exhale, fold forward, touch down, Uttanasana. Release the crown of your head. Then on an inhale, plant your hands flat, look forward. On an exhale, you can start to walk your hands back into downward facing dog. Pause for a moment in down dog. Breathe in and breathe out. From down dog, inhale, shift forward, plank pose, top of a push-up and pause. Line up shoulders over wrists. And then from plank, let's go ahead and drop your knees. With your knees on the floor, try to find a more diagonal shape in your body here. So your hips aren't pressing up towards the ceiling, nor are they dipping down towards the floor. So you're engaged through the core here. Keep your shoulders over your wrists. And now pick your feet up. With your feet lifted, cross at your ankles. Keep your gaze forward and down. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, start to bend your elbows straight back for Chaturanga modified. Hover your chest above the floor. And on an inhale, straighten your arms, press back up. Let's keep working like this. Exhale, lower Chaturanga, hover. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, lower, hover. Inhale, press up. 2 more times. Feel free to lift the knees if that feels appropriate in your body. Last time, press up. Release your feet back to the floor. Lift your knees up, plank pose. And on an exhale, lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Now inhale, shift forward to plank and hold, top of a push-up. On an exhale, let's lower all the way to the floor with control. So feel free to drop your knees. Once you're on your belly, prop yourself up onto your forearms for Sphinx pose. Walk your elbows a little bit more forward of your shoulders. Press your pubic bone down, but lift your heart. Keep your gaze forward. Take an inhale. Stay for your exhale. Now from Sphinx, bend your right knee, kick your right heel towards your butt. Start to reach back with your right hand, catch the inner edge of your right foot, and then start to turn your chest forward for this quad stretch and also shoulder stretch here, chest stretch through the front of your right shoulder. If it feels like too much, you can always lower your forehead down. Pause here for a breath. To come out of it, inhale, release the foot, place your right forearm down. Switch out your sides, bend your left knee, reach back, start to catch the inner edge of your left foot. Once you have it, turn your chest forward. Option to lower the forehead or stay lifted. Keep firming the glutes, press your pubic bone through the floor. When you're ready to release, inhale, lower your left forearm down, Sphinx pose. And then I'm going to leave it up to you. Either stay in Sphinx or walk your hands back to set up for Cobra pose, Bhujangasana. Keep your pubic bone through the floor. Press your palms down, drag them back. On an inhale, draw your shoulders back, lift your chest, Cobra. On an exhale, release and lower. Tuck your toes under. Inhale, lift up to table. And then exhale, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Now from down dog, walk your feet out a little bit wider than your hips. And then we're just gonna start to bend our knees and squat here. So moving dynamically, you'll just start to bend and straighten your legs. Keep the weight distributing evenly across your hands. Keep your head heavy. And it's up to you how fast you go. So this can be pretty dynamic. You can move more controlled. Feel free to turn your feet out if this is bothering your hips. Find the shape that works for you as you just pump your legs. Bending and straightening, finding a steady breath. Take a few more rounds. And then pause with your legs straight, downward facing dog. Inhale to look forward. Exhale, bend your knees, travel to the top of your space, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale to forward bend. Ground your heels. Inhale, rise to stand, reach wide, reach up. Exhale, lower your arms, mountain pose. From Tadasana, interlace your hands. Start to press your palms forward, Bada Kanasana. Plug your shoulder heads in, and on an inhale, reach your arms overhead. Take an inhale. As you exhale, keep the clasp, but now start to side bend to the right. Reach up and over, turn your abdomen and chest forward. Inhale, lift up through center. On an exhale, side bend to the left. Good. Inhale up through center. Exhale, release your arms to your sides. Stand tall at the top of your space, Tadasana. Inhale, reach wide, reach overhead. Exhale, fold forward, touch down, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Urdhva Hastasana. On an exhale, plant your hands, step back, plank pose, top of a push-up and hold. Inhale here. On an exhale, lower with control, chaturanga to the floor. You decide Sphinx or Cobra pose, Bhujangasana. When you're ready, we'll all meet. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. Breathe in and breathe out. From down dog, inhale, raise your right leg high. On an exhale, step your right foot forward in between your hands. Start to drop your back knee and lift up for a 90-90 lunge. You can start with your right hand on your right thigh. You might need to back that right foot up, set it up here. And then once you're in 90-90 lunge, begin to reach both arms overhead. Take your tailbone forward, but lift up through your frontal hips. Take an inhale here. On an exhale, catch your left wrist and start to side bend up and over to the right. Keep pressing your right foot forward and down. Inhale, lift up through center. On an exhale, touch down, step back, downward facing dog. Pause for a breath. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, step your left foot forward, drop your back knee, start to set up for 90-90 lunge. Take your time, reach your arms overhead. Inhale. On an exhale, start to catch your right wrist and then side bend up and over to the left. Keep pressing your left foot forward and down. Good. Inhale, lift up through center. Exhale, touch your hands down, step it back, downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, right leg rises. On an exhale, step your right foot forward and wide. Go outside of your right hand. Angle your right foot open. And now start to turn and twist open to the right. Reach through your right arm. Turn and twist. Take your head back. On an exhale, look down, touch down, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, step forward and wide. Angle your foot open. Once you feel stable, start to turn and twist to the left. Draw your shoulders back, reach through your left fingertips, take your head back. Nice poses. On an exhale, look down, touch down. You decide either step back to plank, lower through chaturanga, or skip it completely. You can move right to down dog. That's where we'll meet. Pause in a down dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Now in down dog, inhale, raise your right leg high. On an exhale, step your right foot forward in between your hands. Drop your back knee for Anjanae Asana. Rise, reach both arms overhead. Take a moment here. Press your right foot forward and down. And then in this low lunge, Anjanae Asana, keep your back toes tucked. Now start to interlace your hands and take your hands behind your head with your elbows out wide. On an inhale, start to curl into your upper back. Take your head into your hands, just like you would for cow pose. On an exhale, hug your elbows round your spine for cat. So you're even coming out of your lunge a little bit. 2 more times like this. Inhale to lift the chest, lunge into your right knee a little bit deeper. On an exhale, hug in and round. 1 more time. Inhale, elbows wide, curl into the upper back. Exhale, hug in and round. And then inhale, come back through neutral. Reach both arms overhead. Anjanae Asana. Lift your back ribs. Now listen carefully. On an exhale, touch down to the inside edge of your right foot. If you have a brick, here's where you might want to insert it underneath your hands. On an exhale, you're going to start to pick your back knee up and then straighten both legs as you fold over that right leg. Release your head. Now listen carefully. On an inhale, you're going to lunge back into that right knee. Keep your back knee lifted, but now start to pivot onto the outside edge of your right foot. So your right knee will move wide. Then plant your right foot flat. Exhale, straighten both legs and fold. We'll keep moving like this. Inhale, shift forward, bend into your right knee, lunge. Pivot onto the outside edge of your right foot. Open your right knee wide. And then plant your right foot flat, straighten and fold. Last time, inhale to lunge. Open that right knee wide as much as you can. Pivot onto the outer edge. And then plant the foot flat, straighten both legs and fold. Inhale to come back to the lunge. Ditch the brick if you had it. Step back, downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, step your left foot forward, Anjanae Asana, drop your back knee, rise when you're ready. Reach both arms overhead, tuck your back toes under. Take a moment, adjust. And then start to interlace your hands. Take your hands behind your head. We'll move through those cat cows. As you inhale, start to curl into your upper back, take your head back. As you exhale, hug your elbows in, round for this cat pose, look down. Inhale, lunge back into that left knee, lift your heart. On an exhale, hug in and round. Last time, inhale for this cow shape, lift the chest. Exhale, round for cat. And then inhale, come back to neutral, re-straighten through your arms. Keep hugging your left heel and your right knee together. On an exhale, touch your hands down to the inside of your left leg. Feel free to insert the brick. And now start to pick your back knee up on an exhale. Straighten both legs and fold over your left leg. Release your head. On an inhale, you'll start to lunge back into this left knee. Keep your chest lifted and now pivot to the outer edge of your left foot. Widen your left knee. Then plant your left foot flat, straighten both legs on an exhale, fold. Inhale, come forward to the lunge. Start to pivot, roll onto the outer edge of your left foot. Then plant the left foot flat, straighten both legs and fold, exhale. Last time like this, inhale, forward lunge. Pivot to the outer edge, open wide, shoulders back. Plant the foot flat, straighten both legs and fold. Inhale, come forward to the lunge. Move the brick if you had it. Plant your hands and decide. Either step back through a vinyasa or skip it completely, we'll meet downward facing dog. Press up and back when you're ready. Breathe in and breathe out. From down dog, inhale to look forward. Bend your knees, exhale, travel to the top of your space, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale to forward bend. Ground your heels, inhale, rise to stand, reach wide, reach up. Exhale, lower your arms to your sides, Tadasana. All right. From Tadasana, go ahead and grab your belt, and then you'll hold the belt out in front of you. You can stand feet hips width or feet together. We'll move through some shoulder flossing. So hold the belt a little bit wider than your shoulders, pull tension on it. On an inhale, reach your arms overhead, keep pulling the belt apart. On an exhale, start to take the belt behind you any amount. You don't have to go all the way down to your hips. And then inhale, lift it back up. Keep pulling apart. Exhale, take it forward. 2 more times. Try to keep your arms straight. Adjust as needed. You might need to go a little bit wider on the belt. If you're not really feeling anything, take your hands a little bit closer together on the belt. Last time. Good. And then when you're done, go ahead, ditch the belt, place it off to the side. Still standing in mountain pose. Now inhale, reach your arms out wide. Look at your hands. Make sure your hands are in line with your shoulders. Then start to turn your palms up to face the ceiling. And now turn your palms back down to face the floor. We're just gonna keep moving like this. Flip your palms up, flip your palms down. Turn up, turn down. Again, as you do this movement, start to maybe glance at the hands. Notice if they're lifting or lowering. Try to keep your hands in line with your shoulders as you just flip up and flip down. Take a few more rounds. Pause with your hands face up towards the ceiling. Inhale, reach your arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana. Reach through your fingertips, knit your ribs in, take your thighs back. And then exhale, release your arms, lower them to your sides. Take a moment, shake it out. Maybe roll your shoulders out. All right. Again, inhale, reach your arms out wide. Again, adjust, make sure your hands are in line with your shoulders. Then start to turn your palms up towards the ceiling, but now start to isolate that movement to your shoulders. So this is what's called external rotation. Now start to flip your palms down towards the floor and then back behind you. So your thumbs will point towards the floor and you're moving into an internal rotation. And then at your own pace, just start to flip through this external and internal rotation of your arm bones. Try not to let your hands, your wrists, your forearms get involved. So you're isolating this movement to your shoulders. Take a few more rounds. I know your arms might be burning. Keep breathing steady. Just flipping up and flipping down. Next time your hands are face up, inhale, reach your arms overhead, Urdhva Hastasana, reach, 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 reach. And then exhale, lower your arms, release, shake it out. No, why is that so hard? It's a simple movement, right? All right, grab your brick and then hold the brick out in front of you. And I'm just gonna come close. So I'm not squeezing the brick, I'm just more palming the brick. So you're gonna squeeze the brick in between your palms. And then standing in Tadasana, reach the brick out in front of you. So squeeze the brick here. Now inhale, start to reach your arms overhead just like you would for Urdhva Hastasana. Avoid moving into a back bend. So try to keep your spine in neutral. Now palm the brick, squeeze it. On an exhale, start to bend your elbows and take the brick behind your head. Good. Inhale, re-straighten your arms, lift back up to Urdhva Hastasana. Again, squeeze the brick, exhale, bend your elbows, take the brick behind your head. Inhale to lift it up. We'll keep moving. Exhale to bend the elbows. Inhale, straighten the arms. Exhale to bend the elbows. Keep squeezing the brick. 2 more times. Inhale to lift. Exhale to bend. Inhale to lift. Exhale to bend. Squeeze the brick. Inhale to lift up. And then exhale, release your arms, ditch the brick, place it off to your side. Take a moment, roll your shoulders out. All right, last bit of shoulder work here. If we're gonna take Gomukasana, so if you know you need your belt, I'd recommend taking your belt and lasso it over your right shoulder. So pausing here, set it up. On an inhale, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. On an exhale, bend your right elbow and touch for your right shoulder blade or your belt. Then reach your left arm wide, spin your thumb down, so internal rotation. Bend your elbows, swing your arm up and back. Try to reach your left fingertips as much as you can up your back. Maybe some of you can catch the hands, or some of you might be like me with your hands pretty far apart here. Wherever you're at, keep pulling the belt apart. Keep drawing that left shoulder back. Breathe in and breathe out. And then when you're ready, release, unwind, shake it out. Move the belt to your left shoulder if you know you'll want it. Inhale, reach your left arm up. Exhale, bend your elbow, touch for your left shoulder blade. Then open your right arm wide, spin your thumb down. Use a little bit of momentum, swing it up and back. Try to make the catch. Once you have it, avoid, notice, are you really moving into a back bend to climb further? Take your tailbone down, keep pressing your thighs back. Draw your right shoulder back. Inhale and exhale. Release it, unwind, roll your shoulders out, ditch the belt. And then from here, let's just go ahead. If you're in the middle of your mat, start to turn so that you're in the middle. Sorry, I can't talk. Your legs are wide. You're facing the long edge of your mat. Take your hands on your hips. Pause here. Take a deep breath in. Lift your chest. On an exhale, fold over your wide legs, Prasarta. Touch down to the floor. Release the crown of your head. Feel free to keep your hands where they are or start to walk your hands back so they're in line with the inner edges of your feet. Keep bending your elbows straight back, but lift your shoulders away from your ears. Try to squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. Take an inhale. Exhale. Now inhale. Start to straighten your arms, lift up halfway. Lurch your chest forward. Draw the bottom tips of your shoulder blades in towards your heart. Take your thighs back. Keep this halfway lift. On an exhale, take your hands to your hips. And then on an inhale, rise all the way back up to stand. Now, keeping the legs open wide, now turn your right leg open to 90 degrees. So you're going to line up your right heel with your middle back arch. Reach your arms out wide to a T, and on an exhale, bend into your right knee for warrior two. Track your right knee over your second and third toe. Reach through your arms. Take a breath in. Hold for a breath out. Now, as you inhale, start to turn your palms to face up towards the ceiling. Press through your right big toe, start to straighten your right leg, and now reach your arms overhead. On an exhale, bend back into your right knee, open your arms out wide, warrior two. We're gonna move a few times like this dynamic. Flip your palms up, inhale, straighten and lift. Exhale, lower back in, warrior two. Inhale, straighten and lift, reach. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten and lift. Exhale, warrior two. Last time, inhale, reach, straighten. Exhale, come back into your pose and stay. Breathe in and breathe out. Take your hands to your hips. Firm your right leg straight. Turn your right foot in. Switch out your sides. Open your left leg to 90 degrees. Line up heel to arch. Reach your arms out wide. On an exhale, Soften into this left groin. Find your warrior two, Virabhadrasana B. Take your time to set it up. Track your knee. Keep gripping your left outer hip in. Now in an inhale, start to turn your palms up towards the ceiling. Press through your left big toe. Firm your legs straight. Reach your arms overhead. Exhale, bend back into your left knee, warrior two. Keep moving. Inhale, straighten and lift. Moving with breath. Exhale, warrior two, Virabhadrasana. Inhale, straighten and lift. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reach. Good. Exhale, warrior two. Last time like this. Inhale to lift. Exhale to warrior two. Pause and stay. Breathe in and breathe out. Take your hands to your hips. Firm your left leg straight. Turn your left foot in. Keep your legs wide. Either keep your hands on your hips now or interlace your hands behind you or use your belt. Draw your shoulders back. Press your knuckles down. Inhale. On an exhale, fold over your wide legs. Start to release your head. Stay here for a breath. Release the clasp, touch down. Inhale, halfway lift. And then from here, we're gonna pivot, start to turn, face the original top of your mat. You decide, either step back through a vinyasa, so you'll move through plank, or skip it. We'll all meet downward facing dog. Pause once you arrive in down dog. Breathe in and breathe out. From down dog, drop down onto your knees. So you're once again here in table pose. And then from table, let's lower down onto your forearms. Keep your forearms apart if you can. Keep your hands apart. So your hands are still in line with shoulders, but your forearms, your hands are apart. Now, just like we did earlier, start to protract. So punch your upper back up towards the ceiling. Take your sternum bone up. Keep your gaze forward and down in between your forearms. Keep this action. Now tuck your toes. On an exhale, lift your hips up and back for dolphin pose. Now let your head release, let it dangle. You can take your gaze back towards your legs. Feel free to bend the knees deeply or keep the legs straight. Some of you might wish to walk in, so your shoulders are moving more over your elbows here. We're just gonna hold it for a few breaths. So find the shape that works for you. Breathe in and breathe out. Keep pressing your forearms down, lifting your hips up, hugging your navel and your sternum bone towards one another. Take another inhale. Hold the pose as you exhale. When you're ready to come out, walk out if you walked in, drop your knees, take your big toes to touch, and let's meet in a child's pose. Feel free to bend your elbows, stack your hands, or even start to sweep your arms back by your feet. So your hands are by your feet here. Give your shoulders a break. Breathe into your back ribs. Inhale and exhale. And then when you're ready, inhale, start to lift up. Place your hands. Exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, raise your right leg high. On an exhale, step your right foot forward and wide outside of your right hand. Angle it open, just like we did before, but now drop your back knee as we turn and twist open to the right. Reach your arms back, take your head back. Now you can stay like this, or optional, start to kick your left heel in, maybe reach back with your right hand to catch the foot. If you have it, start to take your hips and your foot towards one another, stretching here through your quad. Option to lunge a little bit deeper into that right knee. Keep drawing your left shoulder back. Inhale, exhale. If you have the foot, inhale to release it, reach up. Everyone exhale, look down, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, step your left foot forward and wide, angle it open, drop your back knee. Take your time, even walk your right hand a little bit wider as you turn and twist to the left. Reach through your left arm. This is a fine place to stay. Optional, start to reach your left arm back, kick your right heel in and up, maybe catch the foot. Once you have it, try to keep the heel and the sitting bones close, then maybe start to lunge a little bit deeper into that left knee. Shoulders move back, just like Cobra pose. Take your head back, your throat back. Nice, Suzanne. Release it on an inhale if you have the foot. Everyone exhale, look down, touchdown. You decide either step back vinyasa or skip it. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Pause and down dog. Good. From down dog, inhale, raise your right leg high. This time as you exhale, half pigeon. Place your right shin down on an angle. Keep your right knee a little bit wider than your right wrist. And then to set it up, walk your left foot back, adjust as needed, level your hips. And then when you're ready, you can start to lower down. Use any props. Take a moment here. Breathe into your half pigeon shape. Stay pretty active. Press your right shin through the floor. Keep taking your right outer hip back. Then here in half pigeon, start to walk your arms, your forearms, whatever you're down on, all the way over to the left, as much as you can. And then again, release your head. Pause here for a few deeper breaths. Breathe into your right side ribs. Keep pressing your right shin through the floor. Good, nice, Kathleen. On an inhale, start to take your forearms back through center. On an exhale, walk your hands back, place them flat, and then let's step it back to a downward facing dog. Pause for a moment in down dog. Feel free to pedal the legs. And then inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, half pigeon. Place your left shin on an angle. Keep your left knee wide. So my left heel is more in line with my pubic bone. Start to set up your half pigeon. Make sure your hips are level before you lower. And then take your time as you lower down. Use any props. Pause. Take a few deeper breaths here. Start to slow it down. Relax your shoulders. Soften the features of your face. And then when you're ready, start to walk your forearms, your hands all the way over to the right as much as you can. Release your head. Pause here in this kind of twisting variation for a few breaths. And then on your inhale, start to take yourself back to center. Walk your hands back, place them flat. Let's come up into a down dog. Just to come out of it, pause for a moment in down dog. Feel free to pedal the legs. Keep your head heavy. Take a deep breath in. Open your mouth, exhale, sigh it out. Then from down dog, drop down onto your knees. Swing your feet out in front of you, and let's make our way onto our back. On your back, bend your knees, plant your feet hip width and parallel. Take a moment, just let your back body settle. And then here, start to take your hands, catch onto the side edges of your sticky mat. Roll your shoulders underneath you, get a slight lift of your chest. Now start to take your tailbone, your pelvis, more into this cat shape. So you're tucking your tailbone under. Keep this cat shape and now lift your hips up just to hover above the floor. Keep driving your heels down, drag them back, hovering bridge. Breathe in and breathe out. Now you can stay here in the hover or start to lift your hips up any amount. So as you lift up into this bridge, keep your ribs hugging in, lengthen across the tops of your thighs, start to activate through your glutes, keep your throat soft. Stay in the pose for an inhale. Hold the pose as you exhale. When you're ready, release. Lower your hips back down. Take a break and pause. Now, interlace your hands. Press your palms up towards the ceiling. So just like we did earlier, Bada Kanasana. Now, protract through your shoulders. So lift your shoulder blades up away from the floor. You should feel them lift. Keep pressing your palms up towards the ceiling. Start to take more of a cat tilt and then lift your hips up to hover. So again, you're in this hovering bridge. Keep pressing your palms up towards the ceiling. Breathe in and breathe out. And then release, lower your hips, lower your arms to your sides. Take a moment, take a break. And then third time, I'll leave it up to you. You can take any variation of bridge that feels right to you today. You can even move into a supported bridge by sliding the brick underneath your hips here. So take a few moments, ready, set, go, move at your pace. I'll be quiet. Stay in whatever shape you're choosing for a few breaths, finding that steady rhythmic breathing, adjusting as needed. When you're ready to lower down, pause on your back. If you're in supported bridge, remove the brick. Let your hips settle. Then start to walk your feet out as wide as your sticky mat. Either open your arms to a T or take your arms overhead. Take a deep breath in, and on an exhale, tip your knees up and over to the left for a windshield wiper twist. Pause and stay. Firm through your right glute, lengthen through your right side. If it feels appropriate, some of you might wish to hook your left ankle on top of your right thigh. But if that doesn't work, no worries. Just take your feet back wide. Stay for another breath in. Hold it for your breath out. And inhale, take your knees back up through center, switch it out, keep your feet wide, but now tip your knees up and over to the right, windshield wiper twist. Firm through your left glute, try to find more length through your left side. Imagine like you're trying to pin the bottom of your left rib cage to the floor. It's obviously not going to touch, but that's the action you're working here. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, lift your knees back up through center. Start to hug your knees in towards your chest. Take a moment, you can rock from side to side. And then either rock up to a seat or roll to your side. Use both hands, press yourself up. Here in your seat, let's take a Bada Kanasana. So start to take the soles of your feet together, widen your knees apart, remove the flesh out from underneath you. Stay active, firm through your outer hips and glutes. Either stay here in an upright spine or optional, not required, begin to fold forward, only if that feels appropriate. Keep a long spine, keep pressing your heels together. Stay for a few deeper breaths. And then if you did fold, inhale to lift yourself up. Take your hands to your outer knees, start to close your legs, and then cross out your shins for Sukhasana. Take a moment, sit up nice and tall, rest your hands to your thighs, and close your eyes. Take a moment, notice your body and breath. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth, exhale, sigh it out, let it go. Now just start to let your breath go, so no more manipulation. Now just noticing your breathing as it moves through you. If you wish to stay here in a seat for meditation, that's a great option. Otherwise, you can start to make your way onto your back for Shavasana, whatever that looks like. So feel free to use any props, find a comfortable way to rest. I'll be here to guide you out. Take your time as you settle in. Once you're in your shape, start to release and relax any gripping. Notice if you're holding on to any tension. Begin to let go. Release the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Relax your eyelids. Soften the skin around your forehead. Start to notice if your mind is racing, if you're moving pretty fast, thinking about your to-do lists, or if you're the opposite, your mind is pretty sleepy, you're kind of turning off, tuning out. And then work to find the spot that's right in between. Can you be here now in the present moment without any expectation, without any judgments? Just noticing your body and breath. Now, wherever you're at, keep your body still, but now start to deepen your breath once again. Inhaling deeply and exhaling slowly. If you're on your back, you can start to take your time, reawaken through your limbs. If you're seated, you can adjust your seat, maybe switch the cross, which shin is in front. And then from your back, take your time as you arrive back into a seat. Sitting nice and tall, either keeping the hands resting or joining the hands together in front of your heart, Anjali Mudra. As an offering of peace, we'll close by chanting with the sound of Om one time. Exhale first. Breathe in for Om. Thank you so much. Namaste. Hope you feel good. Thanks everyone for joining. Nice to see you all. Have a great